Game sense. It's all about game sense. Trust me when I say your game sense is within the most important aspect of your gameplay, and if you improve it, it can completely change the way you're playing. You probably watched a lot of videos about how to get better aim or which are the best settings, and I don't blame you, but in the end these are just some general conditions which can of course improve your gameplay a bit, but don't genuinely make you a better player. Let's start by clarifying what game sense actually is. There are different kinds of game sense. I like to think about them as different levels. There's the floor level, which includes long-term decisions like what weapon you might choose in relation to your creds or the round you're in, to which side your team will go, or team internal agreements like who's the one entering the side, who holds the flank, who might lurk. These are all decisions which, once they are set, you stick to, so you don't have to actively think about them while you're playing. Then there's the second level, which includes decisions over a medium to short period of time, like where should I put my smokes, darts or traps, should or should I not push the opponent, or the decision about whether your team should rotate or not. This kind of decisions you have to do much more frequently, and you have to actively think about them while you're playing. And on top, there's the third and last level of game sense, which is all about short-term decisions, like where do I look, in which direction do I move, do I shoot or not, and if do I tap or just spray. These decisions are probably for the most of you not even real decisions, they're more like automated processes which are based on your habits and routines. In this video, I'm gonna focus on the second and third level of game sense. If you also want to see a video about the first level of game sense, you might consider leaving a like and subscribe, and maybe I will upload about that in the future. If you ask me, the second and third level of game sense are by far the most important part of game sense, because even when your first level decisions were bad and you choose the wrong weapon or push the wrong side, if you're playing good based on your second and third level game sense, you're still gonna have a pretty big chance of winning the round. So now you might ask,
how do I improve this type of game sense?
Sadly, there is no simple solution to improve your game sense instantly. It is a process which comes over time. That's also why it's so hard to improve and why so many fail. So now let me point out important skills which you really have to internalize to improve your game sense in the long run. At first, don't go on autopilot. Let me explain what I mean by that. Often, players, maybe you too, play over such a long period of time that at some point they stop actively thinking about their gameplay. You always should be aware of what you're doing at this moment, for example strafe to the left to peek an opponent, and especially why you're doing it. For example, because you thought you had the better angle or that there wasn't enough time left. Only if you really use your brain to actively make decisions like this, you can detect the decisions which you made wrong afterwards. Which brings me to my next point, which is allow yourself to learn from your mistakes. What I mean by that is if you choose to actively think while you're playing, you can afterwards pretty much every time detect what mistakes causes you to lose that fight. So don't say things like he had just better aim or it was unlucky timing, because in these situations there were most likely 100 ways you could have played it better, so focus on them. Maybe the opponent had better aim in this situation, but think, did you really have to peek him? Could you have baited him first with some kind of jiggle peek? Could you have moved better so that you had the first sight on the opponent? And if one of the thoughts applies, then think about what made you do that move. Why did you thought it was better than other options, and then learn from it for the future. I think these two skills are the fundamental to every aspect of game sense, and I could line up endless advice which are resulting from this. Like learning when to push and when not, how to look at your map, how to play with your mates, how to use the map knowledge to your advantage, and dozens of more. Comment if you'd like to see a more specific video about some aspect of game sense, although I think if you really stick to the advice I just gave you, you don't really need them, because over time you're gonna learn by yourself how to learn from your own gameplay and your own mistakes. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day or night to watch this video, and see you at the next one.